I think it was really hard. One of the hardest I've ever had to make, for sure. It came down to, talking to my parents a lot, not getting a whole bunch of sleep after the game, but just trying to put emotions to the side and trying to find what's best for me. And, I cherished my 2 years there at Minnesota. It was some of the best years, if not actually the best years of my life. So I was so honored to be able to go there and to be under that coaching staff and all the guys there. It gets emotional kind of after losing and then trying to make that decision. But, I asked my mom, I kind of asked her, like, what a gut feeling was, because I was like, I thought it was kind of bullcrap, but she just said, try and put emotions aside and just think what's best for you. And I feel like that decision was it.
Did it help that Oliver was leaning in this direction too to sign, where you guys can kind of lean on each other?
Yeah, obviously it helps a little bit, but I think just, it's hard to make a decision when you got your best buddy also doing it, trying to find out what's, trying to find what's best for yourself, and try not to worry like what he's doing, because it kind of didn't want it to inflict kind of what I was doing. But yeah, obviously when we both made a decision, it was pretty cool.
What was the conflict for you? Was it just getting more time, or just getting comfortable there at Minnesota?
I don't know. I felt like it would be good to kind of take that next step and kind of live out my dream. To be able to make that jump, and fortunate enough to be here. Kind of just test myself a little bit, and it was my dream. It's every kid's dream. So I think when the opportunity comes in front of you, it's hard to say no.
What do you feel like you improved with this year?
I just think all around details. I think I simplified a lot, while also keeping offense there and growing into my body as always. Still have to do that a little bit, but yeah, I just think fine tuning the details. Knowing how to use my stick, and being able to gap up and shut people down quickly. So
You feel like you're more confident and I guess assertive with the skills that you have?
Yeah, for sure. I think just using my skating, I think in all three zones is really improved, that I've noticed, and yeah, it brings the next level of confidence for sure.
Did you fly in today? What's today been like?
Flew in last night, got back here probably around 11:30, so just got some food, went to bed, tried and get some sleep.
What was it like being out there?
It's awesome. I can't say much more.
Any nerves for tomorrow? Like, where are your emotions?
Yeah, obviously there's gonna be nerves, but I just want to do everything assertively, be confident. I know my abilities, I know what I'm capable of, so I just think it's being confident and doing everything with assertiveness.
Sam, if you can think back to the draft, there were some naysayers, some doubters. I don't know how much you paid attention to that chatter, but that kind of turned around. What do you have to say about that and your abilities?
Yeah, there's always going to be people that won't like you, but no, I was raw my draft year, and whatever it was. So I knew I had a little ways to go, and I had to improve a lot. So I think it's just every summer and trying to learn as much as I can, and I think overall it helps. So
when you look around at practice and every defenseman is 23 or younger, does that make it easier for you that everyone's kind of your age, or what is that like?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously it helps. Dev camps help for sure with being here with Kai, Vlasic my first year, my draft year. So kind of still you gotta have a familiarity with those guys. So it for sure helps.
Is it weird how you had to process the loss Thursday night so quickly and then kind of transition?
Yeah,
quick?
I mean, I don't want to comment on how it ended, but it was shocking, and it didn't feel real. But yeah.
You're trying to form a little bit of a Minnesota mob in this locker room?
I wouldn't say that. Maybe giving Frankie a little bit of crap, but no, just a lot of good guys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, really emotional few days. I'm super excited to be here. Obviously, just really thankful for my time with the Go for Hockey program and everything that happened there. It was an unfortunate way to end it, but I feel like I was just ready for the next phase, and I'm ready to kind of take the next step and be a Blackhawk. So I'm just excited for these next couple days, and just excited to be here.
Sam said that it was a pretty tough decision for him, and he was kind of up all night. What was it like for you?
Yeah, very similar. I know we had a couple phone calls going back and forth, and I think we were in the same boat. It's just an emotional time, and leaving those guys in college, some of your best friends, and but I think both of us wanted to take the next step and be here, and we're gonna look back at it with no regrets. So we're just happy to be here and where our feet are. So
Was that a tough position to be in, where you have to process the loss so quickly on Thursday night and decide whether you were going to sign or not?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, just talking. I went home. We stayed in Florida that night. I went home and talked to my family about it. Called Rinzel obviously a couple times, and I think both of our kind of message memos were to strip the Band-Aid off. We knew we were gonna come in here at the end of the season, and just get right into it. And it was a tough decision, though, for sure.
Was there anything in your development over the last couple of years that kind of assured you that you were ready for that next step?
Yeah, I just think, for me, it was my all-around game. I feel like I was starting to dominate in a lot of different facets of the game personally, and I think that, obviously my production this year wasn't Hobie Baker finals or anything like that, but the chances I was getting and the place I was getting myself into, I think, I'm going to get a lot of reps here wherever they play me, and playing games against really, really good players. So, I think also just physically, maturity-wise, I think I was just ready. So.
This roster here now has turned very young over the past few months. I don't know how closely you've watched them, but how do you feel about coming to a room like this where a lot of people are your age?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of college guys in here, a lot of guys around my age, and it's really comforting to be around. Obviously we have a lot in common. Everyone's kind of in similar situations. Obviously knowing where the Blackhawks are at and the opportunities we're getting, I think we want to build this together, and it's a unique and special opportunity. I think you can just feel the excitement here for sure.
What do you feel like? I mean, you touched on some of the things you've improved, but are there any specific things you feel like you took a step with this year?
Yeah, I think hockey, just my overall hockey game. I mean, I think physically, mentally, just my emotional control with situations, being in all situations, playing penalty kill, playing power play, playing net front. I'm so grateful for my time with Coach Motzko and the positions he was able to put me in to develop there. And I just think the reps I got in big minutes and just my maturity over the year, just kind of where I feel like it took a growth.
I think when I talked to you last year, you were talking about kind of learning more efficient routes to take advantage of your speed and have the most impact. Do you feel like you continued with that this year? For sure, yeah. I definitely noticed more patterns within the game, and I think as you get more comfortable within a game, you can just kind of find yourself picking more speed, picking your spots. I think the NHL level is different, and watching hockey games in the NHL, it's a lot different than college. Guys are really positionally sound, so I'm looking forward to taking that next step here as well.
What do you think your emotions will be going into tomorrow?
Just excitement, emotion. I mean, just gratitude. I think that's the biggest thing. Is just everyone who's helped me get here. I'm a reflection of the people that have helped me to get to this point today, and really it's just gratitude for everybody. Gratitude for the organization, gratitude for my family, and I just think it's a miracle to play in the NHL. So many things have to go right, and I'm just excited for that day, for tomorrow. So.
The way they had these locker room stalls, you got two Minnesota guys surrounding Frank Nazar.
Yeah.
You called Kaiser in for reinforcements.
Yeah, I might have to call him over here. That'd be funny. Yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,